Hey, real quick before we get into this video, I guess I feel like I should apologize to my normal viewers for this video, because you guys know I'm always looking for my direction, right? What am I going to do with YouTube and all that? And I've decided, you know, we're still going to do the vlogs, we're still going to do the super trucking series, all that stuff, but I've decided, okay, why don't I try something to, I have my selfish reasons I'll get to in, of course, but something to actually be useful around here, like helpful, and look at things from, you know, a veteran driver's perspective for the young truckers. So this is kind of the first time trying to do that, so I'm sort of reviewing a company here. I know this isn't what you guys normally watch for. I mean, if you do watch, thank you. I appreciate the support. Thank you. But honestly, the selfish reasons are I do want to grow the channel. I do want to keep doing what I do here. So I need to find ways to attract new people also. So I felt like I should apologize to you guys. I don't know if I owe you an apology, but this is more for the people who haven't found my channel yet. I hope you understand. I love you still, and we'll still be doing the other videos. Don't worry. What's up, guys? Old man super trucker in the house once again. I guess I'm just gonna have to embrace it, huh? Just gonna have to embrace it. I turned into an old angry trucker. Damn it. I guess I should have known that was gonna happen. I thought I would die before I got to this point in life. You know, I thought trucking would take me out, but I guess it didn't. I guess it didn't. So here we are. Today I thought I'd be a little more helpful than the last two videos where I just shout at the youngsters until I feel better, and then I sleep good, right? So hey, you know, I like being helpful, but you know what I like more than being helpful? Cheap views on YouTube by using a big company name in the title. Oh yeah, I love that a lot more than being helpful. So oh yeah. Oh, those are one of those things you're not supposed to joke about on YouTube, right? I'm not here for the views. What are you talking about? Yeah, no, nobody's on YouTube for the views, specifically for the thing it does. No, Anyways, yeah, I'm sorry, I guess. I've been picking on the youngsters lately, and I expected more resistance, like more anger. I thought I was going to start the Munchkin Revolution, you know? I thought a fight was going to break out between me and the young people, and then I was going to have to rally all us old geezers up, or beat you with the canes, or whatever it is we do. I don't know what it is we do. I'm not that old yet. Off the old belt. I wish it wasn't going this way already, this early in the video, but anyways, today we're going to talk about Western Express, guys. Western Express. So settle down, you little rugrats. I'll be nice to you today. So anyways, Western Express. I used to always make the joke there. I once applied to work at Western Express, but they told me I wasn't qualified because I didn't have enough felonies. They said, go out there and break the law a little bit more. Commit some crimes, and then we'll hire you. But that's not true. That never, ever actually happened. Yeah, that never happened. Didn't do it. But wouldn't be a This Guy Trucks video if I you know, just got to the point. So let me tell you about a story, or let me tell you a story rather, about the only interaction I've ever had with a Western Express driver, and then we'll get into sort of my opinions from what I can see on this company, because it's a very hot topic amongst the new drivers, the new and young drivers. So I might as well cash in some views, right? Yeah, absolutely. So the only interaction I've ever had with a Western Express driver myself was, though some of you remember that I used to run the Colorado mountains overnight. Happened to be doing that during winter one year, so I was chaining up pretty frequently, right? And one night, sure enough, I'm driving, chain laws go up, I pull into the chain up area, and I'm outside chaining up my tires, when a Western Express truck comes rolling in to the chain up area, and they're across from me, right? You can pull in on each side and at this specific chain station, and they're chaining, and I look over and I notice they are doing a very odd thing, and that thing they're doing is chaining their steer tires. I went back to what I was doing for just a few minutes, and I went, no, I should say something. And I'm not normally that guy. I don't walk over and tell truckers what to do, right? But I'm like, all right, I should say something. So I walked over and I told the guy, well, I asked him, I'm like, have you ever chained before? And he's like, no, this is my first time. And you could tell he was like freaked out, right? I get it. It's nighttime, it's cold out there, it's snowy, and once you get your chains on, what the hell do you do from there, right? What are you really in for? That's for me, that's the fun part, because I'm the best damn trucker in the world, obviously. But he was chaining up his steers. And I said, hey, I just came over to let you know that you're definitely doing that wrong. And he's like, oh, I've never put on chains before. How am I doing it wrong? And I said, you want to chain up your drive tires. And he said, why? And I said, well, the way the chain laws work is the chain stations are at the bottom of the mountain you're about to climb. So you need your steer tires chained up so they will grip and push you up the mountain. And he said, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I do it every day and it seems to make sense to me. And he said, no, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I said, you're sure you're gonna chain the steers? And he says, yeah. And I thought I'd challenge him a little bit. I said, why are you gonna do that? And he says, because then they won't slide around. And like, oddly enough, I kind of understood his reasoning. Yeah, I mean, you're giving your steers more traction, I guess, in theory. Like, yeah, that makes sense. And I tried. I told him, I said, I get what you're saying. I said, but the chains don't go on the steers, man. I said, you want them on your drives, or those are the wheels that produce power to make the truck go. I said, so you need them to be able to dig through the snow and hit the road surface with those chains to propel you up that mountain. I promise you, I'm not lying to you. And he says, I've never heard that before. I'm just gonna do this. And I said, okay. So I went back to my truck. Now, since he was chaining up his steers, he only had 2 tires to chain, which none of this makes sense, right? And I went back to my truck, and I had wasted valuable time going over to try to talk to him. And I start chaining up my steers. Wait, geez, he's got me fucked up. He's in my head. I start chaining up my drives, and he pulls out of the chain station. And I get chained up, and I'm like, well, I guess good luck to him. And I start heading up the mountain. He's in the right lane. Fucking drive's just spinning. But he could steer better, so that was good news. I tried to help him. So, like I said, Western Express is a hot topic in the young and inexperienced driver community. And I have tried to dive into this company from their point of view to see if there's anything good about them, what's bad about them, and things like that. And I'm not finding anything that really stands out as great, if I'm being honest with you. So the few things I found from their webpage, they're another company that's very secretive about what they pay, and I'm not sure why companies are like that. Don't tell me your pay is competitive. Those are just hollow words. That doesn't mean anything. So you don't know what they pay. You don't know anything about the lanes they run. Do they have dedicated customers? Are they doing spot market? And I mean, they must have dedicated customers. I've seen their trailers at different shippers and receivers around the country. So I imagine they got plenty of drop and hook, but you don't know that. If you're a new driver, you might not even know what I just said right now. So what kind of freight do they have? Like, that's important to know, right? But what do you pay? Come on, man. What do you pay? That's what we want to know. And just give me a range. And we'll go from there. If you want to say we pay between 40 cents and 70 cents, depending on experience, at least I have a baseline. At least there's something that I understand, but they just straight up don't say. They say they drive the top best equipment in the industry. I mean, it's just Freightliners and ProStars. That's it. I mean, to me, at this point anymore, a truck's a truck, especially if it's a company truck. I don't give a fuck. But it's, I mean, I wouldn't say that that's top of the line industry equipment by any means, but whatever, it is what it is. But what I did notice that I would say is red flags, because I don't get on YouTube to trash companies. That's a really dumb idea. But I would say that I see some red flags that exist right off the bat when you go to work for them. And those things are, they will buy you a bus ticket to orientation. If you choose not to get a bus ticket, they will reimburse you the cost of travel up to the cost of what a bus ticket would have been. And to me, honestly, if you're putting your drivers on a Greyhound to get to you, it seems really disrespectful. A lot of companies have moved away from that. Me, I'm the kind of guy that will ride the Greyhound for fun. Yeah, for real. I'll just, you know what? Sounds like I might get a good story out of this. We got football on back there. How you like that? Anyways, I'll ride the Greyhound, but it's not really a way you want to travel to orientation. And they are one of the few companies that I still see that are doing double occupancy in the motel room. So you get there and you have 2 beds and you'll have a brand new roommate for the time you're in orientation. That used to be more common, I guess, way back in the day. That was kind of a thing that companies were still doing a little bit back when I started trucking. But a lot of companies have gotten away from that. We're just going to get you your own motel room. A lot of companies still brag about that as a thing they do, but you probably wouldn't even get me in the door with these 2 things. We're going to put you on a Greyhound, and then when you get there, you're going to share a room with someone else through orientation. You probably wouldn't even get me in the door. Now, they do say that, you have the option for your own travel, like I said. They do say that they can get you a single occupancy room as long as you prepay half the cost of the room. With all this stuff, this is your first impression as a trucking company to your new drivers, and I'd say those things are an absolute failure. Those are a really, really bad look. And then another thing they really lack transparency in is they do have a lease program. Okay, like, we all know that, especially right now in today's market, lease programs are a really bad idea. Even in good markets, it's very rare that it's a good idea. I have made some money in a lease program in a good freight market. Was not disappointed with the money I was making at all until the market went to hell on us. So, I mean, I see that there's sometimes ways to make money with a lease, but they do show what their payments for the truck would be and what your fixed costs would be depending on the mileage of the truck you get, but they do not mention a word, not a single word, about what the lease program pays. And for me, I guess that stuff's sort of done by design. That way you get on the phone with the recruiter and you go, hey, can you tell me about the lease program? And they're probably going to whip through it real quick, so that you're going to have to be like, wait, stop, go back to this. Wait, stop, can you go back and explain this? And the reason they are probably doing that is to throw a lot of information at you in a short amount of time, emphasizing the pay. This is like, but you make $1.20 a mile, let's say. And though that's always intentional when you're talking to companies that lease, they want to whip through all the, details. And yeah, but you make $1.20 a mile. You do not keep $1.20 a mile. I don't know what they pay. I have no fucking clue because it don't say. It doesn't say at all. So anytime a company's hiding, not being transparent with those things, to me, that's always kind of a red flag, and I don't like it at all. Other than that, I'm not able to find out much information about this company without getting on the phone with them. I have seen a lot of new drivers on YouTube that have went there, and this is a thing I've heard, but it does not match up to what their webpage says. And the thing I've heard from a lot of people here on YouTube is that after you get through the 2 days of orientation, you're a brand new CDL holder, you got 2 days of orientation, and your training with a trainer, according to a lot of people on YouTube, is 1 week. According to their webpage, it is up to 30 days. So they don't have a predefined schedule for your training, which isn't necessarily the worst thing ever. Maybe you're not having a good time, maybe you're not catching on to certain things, and they say, okay, yeah, we can extend you out a week if we need to. a few days, whatever you need to get you ready to run that truck. I don't think that's the worst thing ever. But a lot of people here on YouTube have said a week. A week, and then here's where a lot of people are screwing up, because they're saying, hey, I just got my CDL, I did 2 days of orientation, and I chose Western Express because their training period was the shortest of anybody else's out there. A lot of people are saying that from the videos I've watched, and I gotta be honest with you young bucks, that's where you're fucking up. To say I wanted to get training done and over with, and I wanted to get into my own truck. 1 week, I'm sorry, I know it sucks. You want to be in the truck, making your own money, getting paid cents per mile, but 1 week is not enough time to see enough scenarios and be comfortable to take that truck solo. It's just fucking not. It's not as bad as Prime, though, who goes the opposite direction, and it takes roughly 18 years to get through Prime's training. It's like, you have to go to PSD or whatever, and then you have to go spin around on our skid pad for the next 24 months or however long, and then you go to TNT, and that lasts 17 years. Or until you're comfortable, we can easily extend it out to 25 years if you want. All that is obviously exaggerated, but where Prime is definitely overkill with how much time they make you do training, and that's why you have all these big-headed Prime drivers out here acting like they're the best driver on the road. They were in training long enough to obtain a bachelor's degree, and then they're like, oh, we got it trucking down to a science. Well, you better by now. Jesus fucking Christ, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Fuck, you could have fucking had a law degree in the time it took you to do this. What the hell are you doing? If it's true that Western Express is putting people out on the road after a week, that is a problem on their end, but also everybody that's applying, if that's true, that's a problem on your end too. You're making a really, really big mistake with that. I think that's a terrible, terrible decision. Now, here's the bad news. Well, let me give you just the mediocre news first. It's just another trucking company. I wish, man, and I spent my younger years looking for that perfect trucking company. You know what you do in trucking? You truck. Yeah, that's it. That's what you do. I mean, you could do some some specialized things out here that might be a little more interesting. But when you're talking reefer dry van, you truck. That's it. So, I mean, they're obviously just a trucking company like everyone else out here. If they're working for you, if it's something that you think will work for you, or if you already work there and it's going great, fuck it, why change it, right? Doesn't sound like the worst thing ever. But the bad news is, youngsters here on internet, on YouTube, I am seeing from the videos that I watch here on YouTube from a lot of young people, is the biggest downfall of Western Express is they seem to be, just from the sample size I'm able to get, hiring people that enjoy talking a lot more than they enjoy fucking listening. There are a lot of big opinions, a lot of big opinions. I've trained drivers, I have. And I did it for a very short time, and I honestly wanted to do it. I wanted to teach people how to drive trucks. I had one really good trainee. I had one that made me famous. I wasn't actually famous, but the guy blew up my old channel because he was a complete fucking psychopath. And I had one that really enjoyed naps. Yeah, he slept all night, but he really enjoyed napping all day too. Now, the one that was a real fucking menace for me had no desire to listen to what was being said to him at all. He was in his 50s. He felt that he should just shout over everyone instead of taking in new information. And that is what I'm seeing from a lot of the new drivers that choose Western Express. They like to do a whole lot of talking on how trucking should work, and very, very little listening to what's going on. That may be a huge contributing factor to Western Express having the terrible reputation that it does, because if you get a bunch of shitheads together and they're all wanting to be the loudest person in the room and the person that does the most talking, you have a whole lot of people that didn't learn a goddamn thing out there driving trucks. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that fascinating stuff? I mean, just going through these Western Express videos, I have heard the craziest shit that I think I've ever heard. One of the videos I did recently where I talked about a guy that was in training that was pissed off because he couldn't believe he was only making $500 a week, and he had to get up and drive 10 hours and then only take his 10-hour break and get up and drive again while that goddamn trainer was the one getting paid by the mile. You know, if he would have stopped and listened, he would have heard all that from his recruiter. And if he didn't hear it from his recruiter, he would have heard all that in orientation. Of course you're not getting paid by the mile while you're training. I don't know why, but you're there, you're training. You're on your training wheels. You know, there's a guy that's supposed to... Now, this guy said that his trainer is sitting in the back all day in the bunk. That's obviously not training. It's not. Yeah, that's just, I mean, it was crazy. There was a guy posted up a video 2 years ago talking about fresh out of school. He's headed off to Western Express orientation because they were the highest paying company out there when it came to new drivers. He said after he finished training, Western Express had promised him 88 cents per mile. Motherfucker, if Western Express is paying 88 cents a mile, I'm going there right now. To run dry van or reefer, 88 cents. I ain't doing no flatbed. Well, maybe. I mean, maybe I'll find interest in flatbed at 88 cents a mile, you know? But what probably happened is the guy wouldn't listen long enough, and he probably got talked into a lease. 2 years ago, Western Express, they're saying 88 cents a mile. Fuck, that math checks out. That lines up. That may have been what they were offering lease drivers 2 years ago. Wouldn't surprise me in the fucking least. But the idea that he got to orientation all hyped up that he's going to make 88 cents per mile as soon as he's done with training. Oh boy, someone wasn't listening. Uh-oh, that's no good. There ain't nobody out there paying 88 cents to haul dry van or reefer, because I would work for that company. That's where I would be. But just sure wasn't fucking listening. Wasn't listening at all. The guy I talked about in the beginning of this video who was insistent that you chain your steers, where the fuck did you even hear that? Like, you weren't listening. And that seems to be the biggest problem I'm seeing when it comes to reviews of Western Express. People are saying off the wall, completely wacky shit that you know was never said to them. And then they're getting pissed off because Western Express wasn't what they thought it would be. Yeah. Imagine that. If you're not listening to what's being told to you, you just might find out things aren't what you thought they were. You gotta shut the fuck up sometimes, you know? Holy shit. That's crazy. That's fucking nuts. 88 cents a mile, this guy's saying. Come on now. Come on now. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. I don't know of any more absurd detail or absurd things people have said right off the top of my head. I obviously am not able to say Western Express would be a great idea, but I'm not able to say that about any trucking company. They're all the same. They are. Squeeze them all for however much money you can get, and that's the one you want to work for. In my opinion. In my opinion, that's where you want to be. So I guess I don't have much more to add to this. I wish from the company side, their webpage would actually contain information instead of... clearly they hired a fucking HR person to use buzzwords all over their webpage. And we live in a world now where we want to be told what to expect. And that's not unreasonable. Any company that says they pay competitive wages, I won't apply. Like, I won't apply. I don't want to hear that you pay competitive wages. You know, there's companies out there that put actual calculators on their webpage. How many years of driving experience do you have? What regions do you want to run if they offer different regions, right? How many miles do you think you could run in a week on average? You plug in all this information and they go, we'll pay you 65 cents per mile, and you'll make an average of 92,000 per year, or whatever, and you can fuck around with those calculators. Let me fuck with a calculator, Western Express. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is wrong with you? Can I just fuck with a calculator? Do you mind? But they won't ever get me through the door based on we pay competitive wages. And you can take a bus. Okay, that part's not the worst thing ever, but there's no fucking way I'm sharing a room with another truck driver I've ever met, and I'm not paying half the motel costs at your fucking orientation. But thanks for the free room and everything, but that's industry standard. Give everybody a fucking room. So, with that part of that said, I don't think Western Express is doing anything to find the best talent, but I don't think they're interested in finding the best talent. And I think with all that in mind, it may be that they actually want to hire a bunch of people that are just talking and not listening. It's much easier to pull the wool over your eyes if you weren't paying attention in the fucking first place. And maybe that's the kind of people they want to hire. It's a theory. I don't know that to be true. But if you're on the business side and you're trying to keep every penny you can, maybe you want the people that aren't paying attention. Let me know what you think. Bye now.